Major League Baseball welcomes you to the following presentation of the Cleveland Guardians.
For the past decade, Cleveland's baseball identity has been pitching. Bob Feller set the standard for sustained excellence, and tonight, Gavin Williams takes the ball for a starting rotation, currently second best in the American League in earned run average. It's Game 3 of this 4-game series, Guardians TV, presented by Progressive. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Chris Jimenez. Cleveland will try to get back on the winning track against Baltimore tonight with the big rig on the hill. Chris, former big league catcher yourself, Gavin throws a two-seam fastball that gets up to 98 miles an hour, but it has such exceptional movement. How do you hit it, let alone catch it?
That's a great question, actually. The funny part is the hitters haven't really seemed to be able to hit it in any way, shape, or form. I mean, look at the movement on these pitches. We're talking 99, 98, 97 miles an hour. Whatever kind of wizardry he can figure out how to make the ball move like this, I think he needs to keep doing it. You can see the slow-mo there. Look at his fingers on the side of that baseball. This is a great shot. You can see him pull down through the side of that ball. Look at the movement. And we're talking about elite velocity right there. It's unhittable as it looks. Unhittable too.
StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud, and you just, the looks on the hitters' faces, it's like they can't even pull the trigger.
I mean, you can see it too. Look at the horizontal break here. That's side-to-side action. That's 17 inches at 98 plus miles an hour. It's really hard to pull the trigger and trust your eyes, what your eyes are telling you when that ball starts so far outside, and the next thing you know, it's back on the corner of the plate for a perfect pitch.
All I know is that was too much math for me. It just looks nasty. Gavin Williams, the big rig, he's on the mound for Cleveland. It's Game 3 of their 4-game series against Baltimore, and we're back with tonight's first pitch. Plus, we'll check in with Andre Knott coming up next. Cleveland Guardians baseball is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. A grand slam for your budget. Visit Progressive.com. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Elkino. For a team of injury lawyers dedicated to every client every day, call 1-800-ELK-OHIO.
So I hammer the rudder and we go.
A great day on the North Coast as the Guardians and the Orioles get ready for action. Baltimore comes in 10-10 on the year. The Guardians are 11-10 so far this season. Andre Knott joins us now. Dre, you look at a guy like Daniel Schneemann, super utility Gold Glove finalist last year, does a little bit of everything, does anything asked of him, and he's kind of a self-made guy. Not a highly touted prospect when he was drafted, but man, has he made himself into a valuable player.
A made man is what Stephen Vogt called him last night, and I love that he said that about him because, as you said, yeah, we could just say he's a utility guy, and some players will be happy with that. And everything we're saying about Daniel Schneemann right now, he would never say about himself. But he's a self-made man. He's self-motivated, and you see the play he made last night and the grand slam he hit yesterday, the doubles, right? You go back to the Dodger games and hitting the ball the other way. He's come out of spring training looking to hit the ball to left center field, and it's worked. The barehanded play a couple days ago, then that play last night, maybe his best play we've seen him make this year, and then the bomb, the 4-run homer. What I loved about it, guys, if you think about it, that was a fastball high. The pitch before that, he swung and missed. Everybody knows he's a good low ball pitcher. They go up again, and he smashes it for his second career grand slam. But you look at what he's done in a 6-game hitting streak, 10 for 20, 2 home runs, 9 ribbies, 2 doubles, and really for me, I love the stat on the bottom. After the 7th inning, he's hitting over 300 with 1 home run, 8 RBIs. He's not just a utility guy anymore, gentlemen. This is a guy that you need, and he competes every single night. For me, Chris, I love that you have some competition amongst the 2 utility guys. I feel like Angel and Daniel Schneemann have pushed this team this year, and they wouldn't be where they're at without what they've done, not only playing all over the field, but what they've done at the plate.
Well, you can't push each other any better than these 2 guys have done that this year so far. The nice thing is by allowing each other to push each other, you're making, the team better in general, right? You're pushing yourself just to be a better individual, a better teammate. I don't think anybody would say anything bad about either one of those two guys on this team so far this year. Daniel Schneeman's kind of at the top of that list of just being a quality human being, a great teammate, and a made man.
And you better not say anything bad about Gavin Williams or he might put your lights out. The big rig is on the bump. First pitch coming up next.
Now fans, here is the starting defense for your Guardians.
Well, for the Guardians tonight, on the mound starting Gavin Williams, none other, the big rig himself. You can see the numbers there, 2-1 with a 2.38, 22 innings pitched, the walks to strikeouts. That's something we're going to talk a lot about tonight. Not many other pitchers, according to Stephen Vogt, can throw or at least walk 5 guys, punch out 10, and not give up any runs in a baseball game. This might be the only man in Major League Baseball to do so. Let's hope we don't see a ton of those walks tonight, because the key stat for Gavin Williams is strike 1. When he gets strike 1, he's only given up 2 hits the entire season. If he can get ahead of these hitters like that.
That's a key stat. We will keep track of that tonight. Here's the starting lineup for the Baltimore Orioles under manager Craig Albernaz. Gunnar Henderson leads it off, then Taylor Ward, followed by Pete Alonso. Dylan Beavers hitting cleanup, then Colton Cowser, the DH. Leody Taveras will bat 6th. Samuel Basayo is hitting 7th, Kobe Mayo 8th, and Jeremiah Jackson, the dagger last night with that 3-run homer, he's hitting 9th.
And defensively for the Guardians tonight, we have George Valera in left field, Steven Kwan in his 4 Gold Gloves sitting in center, Chase DeLauder in right, Jose Ramirez and Brian Rocchio, man, in the left side of the infield, Daniel Schneeman and Kyle Manzardo on the right, and Bo Naylor behind the plate.
Mark Wegner will call the balls and strikes. He's your crew chief. Bruce Dreckman is down at first, Carlos Torres at second, and Nate Tomlinson, your third base umpire. Game time temperature tonight, 53 degrees, cloudy skies, a lot of rain this afternoon, but it's dried up just in time for tonight's first pitch. Gavin Williams winds it up, and we're underway with a fastball strike. That's the pitch that Chris was just talking about. That 2-seam fastball at 96 miles an hour. He'll start it at the front hip of the left-handed hitter and just let it bleed back over the plate, and he follows that up with a nasty breaking ball.
And that's why you hear us talk about tunneling pitches all the time. That is the perfect tunnel. When those two pitches look exactly the same, all the way till about 3/4 of the way to the batter, and one makes a left-hand turn and one makes a right-hand turn.
Batter's got to make up his mind in a split second. The 0-2. He tried to hold up, but he went around, and he strikes him out to start the game.
Well, apparently he likes throwing in cold weather, because look at this. You can see the fingers on the outside of that ball. Look at the spin there, down and in at the back foot. Perfect execution. Can't ask for a better pitch than that with 2 strikes.
I'm glad you began your comment the way you did. Anybody can come out here and play ball when the sun is shining and the temperature is 70 degrees. Anybody can come out and watch a game. But this is Cleveland. This is what reminds me of going to a game when I was a kid. Early season ball games, April, May. You go to the old stadium, it was always cold and nasty, and you loved it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that's the true home field advantage.
Fouled back into the seats by Taylor Ward.
Matt, you don't have to tell everybody how you warmed us up and prepared us today. He gave us the talk like we were.
That's true.
We get to do this.
Yes.
1 ball, 1 strike. Hit hard, right center. Long run for DeLauder. He won't get it. One hops the wall, and Taylor Ward with his league-leading 11th double of the year.
Well, that's a pretty good swing. It's about one of the best swings you will see off of Gavin Williams. As he comes out with a nice heater right down the middle, you can see that 2-seamer kind of stayed up, didn't really stay on the outer third as much as Gavin would have liked to. But again, give Taylor Ward a lot of credit. Didn't try to do too much with that ball, try to keep the barrel on the inside part of it, and put a pretty good swing on it.
Now Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso takes a breaking ball for a strike. Alonso He was there last summer when Gavin Williams almost no-hit the New York Mets, so he
knows all too well.
He knows all too well how good Gavin can be. Swing and a miss, and he couldn't have hit that with an ironing board.
I mean, look at the movement on this pitch. You can see that spiked knuckle curve.
Look at that circle.
It is at the spin, the depth. We're talking 54 inches of vertical drop on that pitch at 83 miles an hour. None of us here can even throw 83 miles an hour, let alone make it drop 54 inches.
Does he double up with it? The 0-2. Ooh, he tried, and that was a really close pitch. I'm surprised he didn't offer at it just because it was so close, but he probably figured, well, I missed the last one by 2 feet. Why would I even attempt to swing at it? The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He came right back with that curveball, and he struck him out 2 down.
And that was the curveball. The pitch before that was the sweeper. Had a little different shape to it.
Yeah.
You can see this one with significant more depth. Top to bottom spin. Look at the bottom just fall out of that thing. It's a little bit slower than the sweeper as well. But you can tell early on these Oriole hitters are searching up in the strike zone against Gavin Williams. He's going to get a ton of swing and miss if he can utilize that pitch like that.
If you did not see Cody Allen's explanation of the knuckle curve in our pregame coverage, he did such a great job of explaining why that pitch works, why it's so effective, the way he tunnels that pitch with that spike grip, man.
Right. It's a ton of pressure on your fingers. But the key is we'll see and continue to show some slow-mos of, the finger placement on that knuckle curve. But you have to make sure that that middle finger wrapped around the baseball is in front of the ball and thinking about pulling that thing down.
2 down, the 1-1 pitch, and he went, says home plate umpire Mark Wegner. If somebody did watch the pregame show and they're saying, I don't remember seeing Cody talk about that pitch, that's because he didn't. We're going to show that to you coming up. So Cody, he cut a little side piece in the bullpen talking about it, and we're going to show that to you coming up.
It's called a tease. He teased you guys.
Yeah.
But it does look good.
It certainly does. I can't wait to talk about it again.
Here's the 1-2. In the dirt. And I would imagine, Chris, if you're Bo Naylor right now, if you see that pitch working early, you're going to ride it because they can't adjust to it, obviously, here in the early going.
Especially what it does is it saves 98 in the tank for later on in the game, because now they know they have to cover both.
Well, I was going to say, if they're coming into the game worried about covering 98, you just come out there doing this and almost relax them. That makes 98 look like 108 probably.
2-2. He just gassed him with that 98-mile-an-hour fastball, blew it by him. He strikes out 3 in the inning, working around the double by Taylor Ward. The Guardians are coming to bat.
22nd.
Starting lineup for the Guardians presented by Progressive. It'll be Stephen Kwan, Chase DeLauder, and Jose Ramirez at the top. Kyle Manzardo heating up in the cleanup spot, followed by George Valera, Reese Hoskins, the DH, then Daniel Schneemann, Bo Naylor, and Brian Rocchio batting 9th. Coming into tonight, the Guardians just a tick under 4 runs per ball game. .95 runs a game. That's 21st in the majors, so obviously some room for improvement there. You want to get to at least 4 to give yourself a realistic chance of winning on a regular basis.
And I think this offense is very capable of that as well.
I think what's encouraging is that the slug is a little better. You're seeing more home runs. Not that you want to see this lineup turn into a hey, let's swing for the fences type approach. I think it just shows some growth for these young hitters.
And I mean, we talked about how many runners were left on base yesterday. To me, there is a positive to take out of that, right? That they are finding themselves in positions. Now they just got to figure out a way to come through.
A line on the 1-2 pitch from Dean Kramer, and it's up high.
That's one thing you're going to see Dean Kramer do a lot of. It's the four-seam fastball at the top part of the strike zone, and then that slower split finger throws a ton of splits, heavy split to left-handed hitters.
Line softly fouled on the right side. What jumped out to me, Chris, is that he's only made the one start, right? But he didn't walk a single batter.
Not a single one, with 9 punch-outs, too. You know, he only made it through 5 innings, but gave up, 6 hits, which, okay, you can live with that. A couple of earned runs. But he is going to not talk. He's hopefully not going to talk about it, but he's going to go out there and show it. He will use that top part of the strike zone.
Well, he has
a ton.
Yeah, he has to use it, though, to set that split up. And that's what I was going to ask you. Usually with the split, we say if it's low, let it go. But you can probably be charged up to swing it already because he's messing with your eye levels, right?
And that's exactly what he relies on. He relies on hitters going below the zone with that same sort of mentality. It's a lot easier said than done, but you have to hunt the middle part of the plate.
Vaughn lifts one to center. And that is out number 1.
Well, defensively for the Baltimore Orioles, Taylor Ward in left, Leody Taveras manning center field, and Dylan Beavers out right today. Kobe Mayo, Gunnar Henderson on the left side of the field, Jeremiah Jackson and Pete Alonso on the right, and Samuel Basayo behind the plate.
Here is Chase DeLauder. And he fouls that pitch straight back. That was a four-seam fastball. It was up where he likes to get after it.
Matt, remember yesterday, DeLauder had to double down the left field line.
Correct.
Stayed back on everything else. Juan Brito came down at the end of the inning. He goes, I got to get that. I got to learn that swinging.
That's the pitch right there that he's going to have to lay off.
Well, it was called a ball,
Pitch
but
is called a ball. The catcher is challenging.
Samuel Basayo challenging the call. ABS
Looks a little low to me.
Powered by T-Mobile. And so a win for Cleveland.
Called confirmed ball. Baltimore has 1 challenge remaining.
I'm asking, with 1 challenge remaining, that could be huge for the Guardians with the pitcher that's going to throw that many splits low, right? And he's not getting the call early.
Especially if these guys can really know that bottom part of the strike zone. Like, that was a great layoff right there from Chase DeLauder. You almost have to pick the top or the bottom. Which one do you want to be aggressive at?
And a pitch clock violation.
He was shaking him. He kept shaking him. He got frustrated because the pitch he wanted, he wasn't getting told in his ear.
Well, let's not forget, Dean Kramer was sent down at the end of spring training.
Ripped deep right center field. Beavers on the move, and he'll run it down on the warning track for out number 2.
That was a pretty good swing on a curveball. You don't see a ton of curveballs to left-handed hitters. Good job of staying up to the big part of the field. You can see that very unique swing. Dylan Beavers kind of playing that shift a little bit more towards right center field.
Beavers isn't 6'3" or whatever he is. That man went over his head.
Jose Ramirez takes a pitch inside. Interesting. Jose Ramirez last night. Well, let's go back to the first game of the series. Jose hit a 2-run homer in the first inning. Then he singled his last time up. Last night, Craig Alvarez decided to not even give him a chance. They were not intentional walks, but Baltimore walked Ramirez 4 times in his 5 trips to the plate. So obviously
they were unintentional.
It was
walks.
very well communicated.
Right. Do
not just give in to this guy. If he wants to chase and maybe get himself out, by all means, we'll let him do that. But and Chris, that's something that again speaks to the greatness of Jose Ramirez. He knows that there are times when teams are not going to pitch to him, and so he has to fight himself because you know how badly he wants to swing the bat.
For sure. And again, that's so difficult from a mental side of things. As a player, you know how much we rely, this offense relies on Jose Ramirez to produce, and when you're not getting the opportunities to do that, it can be very frustrating.
Did it surprise you guys that's the first time he's walked 4 times in a game, I believe?
Shocked. because this is not the first time Jose's been around, right?
Right.
I mean, he's done this to teams in our division,
right?
And they don't get it. They don't understand.
I think too that also goes, it shows how he's matured as a hitter as well. That wouldn't have happened earlier on in his career. Yes, it's taken, a while for him to garner this much respect, but there's been times in his career where he would have gone outside his strike zone to try to make something happen as opposed to letting the game come to him.
And here's why the strategy, if you're on the other side of this, painful as it is for Cleveland fans, but the Guardians were 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position. So the idea, the concept has always been make someone else beat you.
There you go.
They didn't do that.
They did not.
In the dirt. And a full count.
And that's where I came, a little bit earlier talking about the fact that you're getting men on base. Now you just have to have somebody come through. You only need one hit in a situation like that to break somebody's back.
It felt like last night they got that one hit.
That's true.
But they couldn't make it stand up. Here's the payoff pitch. In the dirt, ball 4. So Jose stays patient.
That 5 in a row?
I believe so.
Yeah, remember he flied to right in his second at bat last night, so it's 4 consecutive walks. 6 in the series.
That certainly helps the on-base percentage. And again, as much as you want to make somebody else beat you, that does, putting him on first base, he's a stolen base threat no matter where he's at on the field. And it puts extra pressure on the pitcher to not only execute the pitch, but you can't just let Jose run wild over there as well. So you're kind of picking your poison.
And now, because of this series alone, Jose is now 5th in the American League in walks. So 16 walks already. Kyle Manzardo has hit in 7 straight games.
And I hate to say this, but I think
there goes Jose. Throw down. Save. Stolen base number 10. He began the day tied for the league lead in steals.
Well, you can see the helmet comes flying off. Pretty standard. Good pick right there by Gunnar Henderson, but it looks like he never really got the tag. Maybe slightly there on the back of his foot. But it looked like Jose was already on top of the bag, ready to rock. Again, like we were just talking about, now you've got a runner in scoring position. And you can't take your eye off of him either, because he might as well take third.
Changes the at bat for Manzardo.
There's the split finger. We talked a lot about that. You can see the rotation. That ball looks like a fastball for so long, and it's almost like somebody pulls the string on it, and you swing where your eyes are telling you.
Came right back with it and struck him out. So we have no score after 1 in Cleveland. Guardians TV presented by Progressive. No score after the first inning of play. Gavin Williams struck out 3 in the first. He'll have Colton Cowser, the designated hitter, leading off the second. All right, Chris, you've got Cowser, left-handed bat. He's 6 for 19 putting fastballs in play this year. He's 2 for 22 when swinging and putting an off-speed pitch in play. Does that mean anything to you as a catcher if you're preparing for this game?
Yes, it does. It means he's probably going to see a steady dose of breaking balls, especially early in the count. That buys you a little bit of room. You put it in his head there, the first pitch, that gives you a little bit more room for there with the fastball. But my guess is he's going to see a steady dose of breaking balls. Gavin got 8 swings that first inning, 6 swings and misses. Stuff looking good tonight.
Yes, indeed. Here's the 0-2. In the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cowser was 0 for 4 last night.
This certainly seems like it could be that big top to bottom curveball time right here. That one with a lot of depth.
Breaking ball, back door, just missed. 2-2.
The nice thing is, you know, even though the numbers are what they are against the fastball, with the way Gavin's fastball plays at the top part of the strike zone.
Ring him up. 3 straight strikeouts for the big rig. All right, so last inning, he threw a sweeper and then the curveball.
And look at this sweeper. This is the sweeper. This has got a little bit shorter depth break to it. You can see that side spin. Here's that top to bottom curveball. He holds it the same way, continues to spike it, excuse me, but you can see the significant difference in drop of that ball and the spin on that ball.
Coming up at the end of this half inning, stay with us. Cody Allen is going to give us a visual demonstration of that knuckle curve and why it's so effective. It's the same pitch that Cody Allen used as a closer.
Correct. It's funny, Cody and I were at lunch today. We were talking about that specific thing.
And the 1-1 fastball taken for a ball. Leody Taveras riding a 6-game hitting streak. Last night 2 for 5, a stolen base, and scored a couple of runs in the series. They appeal, he did not go, and it's ball 4. So the first walk issued by Gavin. After 3 consecutive strikeouts, he just seemed to lose the release point of that fastball. Couldn't spot it. That one was inside.
Good call. Good call there on the no swing.
Samuel Basayo. Here's another guy. He has feasted on fastballs, but secondary stuff has given him problems. He is just 3 for 33 on off-speed pitches when trying to put them in play. See if Gavin tries to land the first pitch curveball.
Well, again, that certainly, says he's going to see a decent amount of breaking balls, and you can kind of see that by look where Daniel Schneemann is playing right now. He's over in that 4-hole, knowing that if Basayo does make contact, it's probably going to be to the pull side, soft. With the runner being held on at first, you got to cover that ground.
There was the curveball. He beats it into the ground, but he was out in front of it. If anything, he's going to beat that into the ground, right into the teeth of your defense.
That's exactly right.
And again, what makes the curveball so effective is that 97-mile-an-hour fastball that he painted on the outside corner. It's not a pitch anybody wants to swing at, first pitch especially. So now he's got him in the hole 0-2.
As a hitter, you have that in your head, like, God, there's no way I can cover both of those.
Hit high in the air, deep left field. Back is George Valera, shy of the warning track, makes the catch. And back to first goes Taveras. That was a good fastball. Probably had a little more of the plate maybe than he wanted. And Basayo couldn't do much with it. He hit it hard and in the air, but it didn't go anywhere.
But here's the thing. I'm okay with that. That's not a pitch that he can handle consistently. Yes, he did get a barrel to that pitch. Nothing ended up happening to it, but it continues to set up the fact that he's got the breaking ball in his back pocket for that second and third time through the lineup.
Now Kobe Mayo. Taveras draws a throw. Taveras, well, he stopped. Ball's hit to third. Jose Steps throws. Got him. So the Orioles cannot take advantage of the one-out walk here in the second inning. No score. Guardians getting ready to come to bat. We're going to take a moment now and let Cody Allen really explain the knuckle curveball to you.
Today we're going to talk about the curveball, specifically the spike knuckle curveball. Gavin Williams has got a really good one. It's a pitch that I leaned on a lot in my career, and I developed it off of knowing that a four-seam fastball has that four-seam spin orientation, and I really wanted something to look just like that going the other way. So when you have that spike up top, I couldn't get a traditional curveball grip like a Clayton Kershaw or somebody like that who's got that traditional grip, that big bend. I just could never develop that pitch, or that pitch wasn't effective for me. So some guys told me to try spiking it when I was in college. Started gripping it right there. Really puts a lot of pressure on this finger right here. And then all I was thinking about was driving this knuckle through the catcher's mitt. I really wanted to just drive that thing through the mitt. Wanted that thing to come out flat like a fastball and then come off, so I could have the four seam going this way, the curveball going that way. That looks like that's what Gavin Williams has been doing a lot of this year, is four seam fastballs are outstanding, but what makes it a lot better is that spike knuckle curveball that he's got down really good.
And so, Chris, the key takeaway here is to the hitter. Initially, they look like the same pitch coming out of the hand.
That's the key. The easiest way to tip your breaking ball is to have that thing pop up in the air. If you can stay with that knuckle curve, and check this out. You just saw the breaking ball there. Look at the fastball start at the exact same height. It's impossible for hitters to tell. Not only you got 98 in the tank, but you can't see that spin difference until it's too late and the ball's dropping or the ball's staying there. You're swinging off that same plane that you try to see that thing start off at. The next thing you know, one's by you or it's below your bat by 2 feet.
And Cody Allen didn't have 98 like Gavin Williams had, but it was still an effective pitch.
And it was sneaky because you're relying on the depth of the two pitches at that point. It's a great job by Cody right there of kind of explaining exactly why you want to utilize that pitch and why that pitch works for certain pitchers and not others.
George Valera, a liner right into the tracks. He's smoking Mason Jeremiah Jackson. So George Valera, tough luck at bat. One down here in the home half of the second.
Well, he certainly hit that ball on the screws. That's when you're going back to the dugout. And again, that's kind of why batting average is a really poor stat to tell you how good a player actually is. You can hit a ball like that and not be rewarded for it, but hit one off your label and somehow get a hit.
Now, Rhys Hoskins is in the lineup because he's had success versus Kramer in his career, probably the most of anybody on our team. So if people are wondering why the righty's in the lineup today, the history.
See, they do take that into consideration.
Every once in a while. And when you've had the success, what does every other hitter on the team do? He's been the most popular guy in the dugout so far.
Well, they ought to ask somebody, because speaking of history, last April, almost 1 year to the day, Kramer went 5 1/3 innings and gave up just 1 run against Cleveland. He got the win as the O's beat him last year 9-1. That was on April 16th.
Well, you can tell there's history here between these two just by the way he started Rhys Hoskins off. That's the first 2 sliders we've seen him throw all day.
Checked his swing, fouled back. It's 2-2.
When you're preparing for a hitter that you know has had success versus a pitcher you're catching that day, how much is that a part of the conversation when you preparing to pitch to him?
You know, it's believe it or not, you try to stay away from something like that. You don't want to put a negative thought in a pitcher's head.
Okay.
You know, right out of the gate.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out with that splitter.
And that was a good one too. That was up in the strike zone.
A really good equalizer. Bet 365 betting odds tonight. Daniel Schneemann riding a 6-game hitting streak in which he is batting a gaudy .500, 10 for 20. Couple of homers, the grand slam last night. 9 runs batted in total during his 6-game streak. Third baseman playing back. Maybe just a deke to try to bring him in a step or two. He's not buying it. He's going right back to his normal position.
He saw he's been hitting the ball. Chris, I told you this last night. I said to Schnee, I go, hey, man, when you hit your first grand slam, you told me, I don't hit no doubters. I run right out. And I go, last night? He goes, okay, it's getting different. He goes, don't tell anybody. I knew that one was gone.
And that is a good feeling. You never want to, show anybody up, but boy, it certainly feels good when you know without a shadow of a doubt that you got one.
Because he's not a guy that would show anybody up, and that was his main thing. He was like, dude, I'm not. It's not about me. He goes, but it did feel good. I think what felt best for him, and we kind of said in the pre, he said, hey, guys knew you could get me out with high fastballs, and that's something I've been working on. And he goes, hopefully I'll get some pitches in the zone that I've always been comfortable with, lower.
Right.
He goes, and I know I got to earn them.
That's exactly right. It's nice to get that win when you know you've been putting in the work.
Ouch. Off the instep of that right foot. Hopefully it didn't clip the ankle.
You can see this is a great look. Oof. Right off the heel, it looks like. And that is not a fun feeling. There's not a lot of padding there.
Bet he has one next to him, bud.
Yeah, that's true. Bodie and Jeff Desjardins going to come out and make sure Daniel Schneeman's okay. The fact that it's chilly tonight too definitely doesn't help.
Either dispel a myth or spill the beans. When you see that as a catcher, you see a guy foul one off of his foot like that. You're calling for a pitch. He can try to do that same thing again, aren't you?
I am going. You're going right back to it. Yeah,
what is wrong with
I have
you
no
people?
problem.
Nothing wrong with
Hey,
that.
you got to take advantage.
It's competition, sir.
Exactly.
This is how the game works. You remember
I don't know that.
Wait a minute. Now you're telling me you're playing quarterback.
I just think that's me.
It is
No,
me.
I think you're.
all's
I
fair.
think you're a bully.
Well, you can call me what you want. My job's to get people out.
No, I think we all understand that thinking, but it's just. So as a hitter, you know that too, right? I know where this next pitch is coming.
For sure.
So you're just praying it's not a strike so you don't have to swing.
That's exactly what you're doing, yes. And you're also hoping too with the speed up rules that Major League Baseball's implemented, and don't get me wrong, they've been great. You hope that the umpire has enough feel in the moment to give you that extra second that you need. And that's, why Stephen Vogt comes out and Jeff Desjardins comes out, just to give you that extra minute to catch your breath.
Our old friend, the late, great Mike Hegan used to say, you could tell if a guy was a right-handed hitter or a left-handed hitter by the way they limped in the locker room after a game.
That is probably a very true comment.
Here's the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. He went up the ladder, and Dean Kramer, he looks like he's up to the task tonight. He has struck out 3 in 2 scoreless innings. Well, congratulations to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They routed Toronto in their playoff opener this afternoon, 126-113 over at the Rocket Arena. James Harden dished out 11 assists. D. Mitch had 45, and I thought Jarrett Allen was going to tear the backboard down in the first quarter.
I was just going to say, those 4 guys in particular had a very good game.
Mobley was they were attacking the rim. It was really fun to watch. But Jarrett Allen, he was just throwing them down like, get out of my way.
I think you need a little bit more out of him like that.
Third inning, no score. Jeremiah Jackson, my goodness, 8th in the American League in batting average. He's tied for 3rd in runs batted in. This is like the oldest story there is in baseball. Jackson Holiday, anyone? Hey, you ever heard of Wally Pipp? You ever heard of Wally Pipp?
Yeah. He's going to keep playing. His name has become a big name since the foul ball.
Fly ball to right. DeLauder makes the catch.
Basically, Matt, he's put his name on the block. It was on Dean Kramer's last start when Albies was hit by the foul ball. Since then, he's been the hottest hitter in all of baseball.
He's 5th in slugging percentage. He's 10th in OPS. And he smoked his manager inadvertently on a foul ball.
He's probably going to be player of the week.
And then came back in that same game. 2 home runs, a grand slam. Great comeback win for Baltimore. Last night he capped their comeback with a 3-run homer.
Jackson Holiday, you better start swinging that bat, kid.
I'm sure Albie is more than happy to have a few fractures and to make sure that his players are winning, American League Player of the Week.
Got to make sure our guy Albies doesn't yell today. He was hurting last night.
Gunnar Henderson fouls it off. Gunnar Henderson hitless in the series. Just 2 for his last 24. He's, as I said last night, he's a guy with a lot of emotion. Sometimes that can work against you in this game. 0-2 pitch. In the dirt. Good pitch.
You mentioned that. You remember he debuted his first game as a big leaguer was here. His first home run here, so he's had a lot of success here, and I think he's one of those guys they circled of, we cannot let him come in here and do what he's done in the past.
1-2 breaking ball, fouled away.
I think too, at some point, Gavin's going to have to use that fastball at the top part of the strike zone. That swing on that curveball, just would at least give me, I'm not saying cause for concern, but it certainly looked like he's starting to catch up to that pitch.
In the hole and a base hit for Gunnar Henderson. Maybe went to the well one too many times.
Exactly. And again, I mean, it's okay. It's a single, no big deal. Obviously, with the power that Gunnar Henderson possesses, it could have been a lot worse. But you can see this is that slower breaking ball, the curve ball there. The first pitch he threw of the at-bat was the really hard sweeper. That was a little bit slower, bigger depth breaking ball. He threw that the exact same pitch right before that was a foul ball.
Taylor Ward smoked a ball to deep right center field for a double his first time up. That was on a fastball. He just shot it the other way. What a great trade this has turned out to be. Grayson Rodriguez to the Angels for Taylor Ward.
I don't think Grayson Rodriguez has pitched yet.
He has not. And Baltimore took a lot of heat for that.
Yes, they did.
In the media.
Strike call.
I think, and you and I had this conversation, I think they're still searching for a #1 pitcher.
Certainly are.
And Grayson was thought of as that. He was drafted into that. And when he did pitch in the big leagues, he was impressive. But injuries have just been his issue.
And, to me, the only way they make that trade is they know there's just something not right.
Tell you what, they had him in terms of leaning maybe a little bit, but watch how he goes back to the bag to the outside.
Yep.
And it was a long way to go for Manzo to get the tag to him.
It's a great call, Matt, because look where his left hand is. He went all the way to the back. And as a right-handed guy catching.
I was just going to say it. Now, that is a big benefit of having a left-handed first baseman.
Bouncing ball towards Jose. To second. Oh, he threw it away. A rare throwing error by Jose Ramirez, and now the Orioles have him at second and third with only one out. Jose can't believe it himself. He is beside himself literally right now.
I wonder if that ball might not have been, a little wet, just coming off of his hand weird. You can see this ball was beat right into the ground. Nice high hop for Jose. Looks like it just kind of slipped in his hand there.
He didn't have it. Yeah, he didn't have it in his hand.
Didn't have a great grip.
So now Gavin. This is the ultimate Houdini ask of a pitcher. Pete Alonso at the plate. Second and third, and you've got your infield in. Good luck to those guys.
Yeah, that's not a fun feeling. With this guy at the plate, knowing how hard he has the ability to hit a baseball. You can see where Jose is. He's playing a little more standard.
Out of play to the right.
And again, this now puts a little extra pressure on Bo, knowing how many breaking balls and sweepers that Gavin's thrown today. With that runner at third base, make sure you're just trying to be as mobile as you can back there. You want to be an athlete.
He struck him out with a really good curveball his first time up. That's outside. Fouled that one off of his foot. It stays 1-2.
Again, with this now being the second time through the lineup, interested to see if Bo and Gavin are going to make that a little slight adjustment. Start mixing in that fastball a little bit more. Just kind of keeping these Baltimore hitters off the scent of that breaking ball.
Now the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him again with a nasty hook.
But just when you think he's going to throw the heater, he throws the hook again, and that was a good one.
The right fielder, number 12.
Kind of starts out here with pitch number 1, the hard sweeper at 88. Then you go fastball at the top part of the strike zone. Really good miss there. See if you can get him to go fishing. You slow it back down with that curveball, and then you double up on it. An even better pitch at the bottom part of the strike zone. That's a strike the entire way there until he swings and misses.
Dylan Beavers struck out his first time up. Chris, how do you know when you're back there calling pitches, how do you know you're not going to the well one too many times with that curveball?
You got to look at the takes in the swings. And yes, none of these swings have necessarily been right on it. You're not fouling the ball right back or hitting a line drive down the line, but you can see they're starting to get closer to getting that timing of these breaking balls.
Beavers lays off the curveball, 1-1. He's a guy with a pretty good eye. 7 walks in his last 7 games.
We haven't talked about extension with Gavin Williams. You've talked about the heater and talked about the curveball. But when you look at where he releases the ball, he's almost at the cut of the grass. That's got to make it hard as well. Right?
Oh, a big swing and a miss. Remember, he got Beavers after he slowed it down.
That's right.
He got the high fastball and chedded it right past him. Back in the first inning.
Well, back to Andre's point, that extension, 7 foot of extension, 7 feet, I guess. That is good for 93rd percentile in Major League Baseball. So there's not too many guys that get down the rubber a little bit further.
So 98 is probably a lot faster.
Like 198.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got it with a sweeper. Took a little something off. Nasty break to it. Gavin Williams strikes out a half dozen through 3 innings, and he picks up his great teammate Jose Ramirez in the process.
He's on higher, 1920, absolutely you're going home for the prize tag. Thanks to our friends at Union Award.
Gavin Williams going right up to his superstar teammate Jose Ramirez saying, I got you. And you can see Jose right back to him. Don't worry, I'm going to get you.
I'll help you out at some point.
That's the stuff you can't force. That has to come naturally.
No doubt.
That's part of what helps a team bond.
For sure.
We always talk about chemistry in sports. You know, what's the key to it? Can you create it? No, it has to happen naturally, and it's sometimes it's born out of adversity, right?
Yeah, and I think honestly that standard has been set by Jose through all of these years.
Bo Naylor leading off for the Guards here in the bottom of the 3rd. No score. And that fastball found the inside corner. 2-1.
You see Dean Kramer get a lot of 2-0 takes because of the way he pitches. It's a lot of soft early. You're maybe sitting there looking for something up in the strike zone from a soft standpoint, something similar to that pitch right there. Then he sneaks the heater by you. Then he comes back with that other, you know, the split higher in the strike zone. He definitely keeps hitters on their toes.
The 2-2. Low, full count. As a catcher, you're reading swings. When a guy doesn't swing, does that make you nervous?
Tells you just as much as you need to know. I mean, takes can tell you just as much as a swing.
Interesting. Here's the payoff pitch. Broke the bat, and another terrific defensive play. Jeremiah Jackson had to run it down, and he did for out number 1.
At some point, they're going to have to start picking on somebody else over there. But that ball definitely got in on Bo ever so slightly. You know, he's still got enough that you thought this may have a chance of sneaking over Jackson's head, but a good initial first step. He's able to run it down.
So that'll bring up Brian Rocchio. 1 for 3 in the series opener with a double and a run scored. Had his first night off of the season last night.
He had played, I believe, in 100-ish games in a row before that.
You know, right now we look at it, you know Jose's going to be in that lineup every night. You know Stephen Kwan's going to be in that lineup every night. And then, to your point, it's become Brian Rocchio.
And rightfully so. I mean, he's earned that right. Not only what he's capable of doing defensively, but swinging the bat a little bit too.
With the injury to Gabby Arias, they definitely need him. But you said it perfect. He's earned this. After coming back from Columbus, he has been locked in on everything they've asked him to do. And patient at the plate. Matt, that's what we've talked about a lot. He is more patient than we've ever seen him at this level.
You know, Andre, we've seen it countless times. Expectations can be a you-know-what. And I think for Rocchio, that those early flashes of greatness defensively and clutch hitting, right? You expect him to continue to advance and excel. There's a high fly ball to right. Back is Beavers. Makes the catch, and when those expectations aren't met, you kind of have a letdown. You're like, what's wrong with this guy? How come he's not? But you don't necessarily automatically advance and excel and go up the ladder. Sometimes
it's not linear, that's for sure.
Sometimes you do have to get knocked back before you charge forward.
Sometimes you need to be punched in the mouth to figure some stuff out. And I think, you know, from a mentality standpoint, going down to AAA is not the worst thing at times.
No.
You know, it does take some pressure off you. It allows you to kind of slow the game down and really truly work on what you were being asked to work on.
You know what the team loves right now is how he reacts after an at-bat like that. There were times he would come back to the dugout and be so frustrated that he made it out. But they would tell him, your body language, Brian, you can't show people that you're frustrated. It's okay to be frustrated, but don't show people that. And he's so much better at handling that now.
Isn't it funny, Andre, how baseball might be the only sport where showing emotion truly is discouraged?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. You know, football, you can throw your helmet down, you can dance around, you can do all those things. Hockey, basketball, but baseball, suppress.
Well, think about what you guys have been talking about. You guys have been talking about reading guys, at the plate. It's the same thing everywhere else.
Yeah, everybody's reading body language. Dean Kramer, he's dialed in. He has set down 7 straight.
Cascade.
Time now for our Toyota keys to the game. We are scoreless, heading to the 4th inning. And
well, there he is.
Chris, you shortened it.
I did. I shortened it today.
Concise.
We got to attack. Strike one being so incredibly important. Gavin, 9 of 13 first pitch strikes. When he gets strike one, he's only given up 2 hits the entire season. And of course, the bullpen there. There is no better way to forget about a day or a bad night before than to get yourself right back out there the very next day. Need to see these guys that they can handle this mentally and go back out and get their jobs done.
Colton Cowser leading off for Baltimore here in the 4th inning. Struck out his first time up. Breaking ball, ripped through it.
I mean, Gavin has been so good this year. When I was diving into this a little bit earlier today, as soon as he gets strike one, he's only given up 2 hits. So if he's ahead in the count, he's only given up 2 hits the entire season. That's pretty amazing. But it also just shows you not only how important getting strike one is, but that he has swing and miss ace caliber stuff.
Ooh. I mean, just locked him up with a fastball.
Love it.
He blinked and it was by him.
Love it. And again, what sets that up is how many breaking balls. these guys have started to see. This is a great job by Bo and Gavin there. Perfectly executed pitch at the bottom part of the strike zone. And that's a pretty tough pitch to hit at 97.
It's his 7th strikeout and the first called 3rd strike. Down and in, ball 1. There's a breaking ball that hung, and Taveras didn't miss it. 1-0 Baltimore. First homer of the year for Leody Taveras. And it extends his hitting streak now to 7 games.
Again, this is another kind of just, these guys are starting to catch up this. I know Leody Taveras saw a lot of fastballs the first time through. But you can tell the game plan against Gavin is get that breaking ball up in the strike zone, knowing full well you're going to see some. This is that slower curveball. This one did hang right the heart of the plate. Give Taveras some credit. Let that ball travel, and he put a good swing on that bad boy.
Samuel Basayo fouls it back out of play.
Well, you can see as soon as Gavin leaves his hand there, the look says it all. He knew it. It's one of those ones as a catcher, you see it leave the pitcher's hand.
You're going, uh-oh.
Yeah. You're going to take your glove off and throw it so he can't hit it.
0-2 on Basayo. But again, so this is that part of the game, the emotion. Right now, home plate umpire Mark Wegner getting an earful from the Orioles dugout. Craig Albernaz is barking at him.
Gotta tell Albie to stop hiding behind that corner there.
In the air, shallow left field. The third baseman Ramirez now coming back in on the dirt. Makes the catch for out number 2. And a word out from Cleveland Clinic.
When you make complexities your specialties, you redefine what's possible. For every care in the world, Cleveland Clinic.
But I was going to ask you about the emotions of the game. You give up a home run on that breaking ball, but you can't give up on that pitch as a catcher just because he hung one.
Right, right. I mean, listen, how many good ones has he thrown today? That's the one real poor one that's gotten, hit hard.
To third, Jose from the outfield grass. And a great job by Manzardo to reach and scoop it. And the side is retired, but Baltimore strikes first. 1-0 O's, middle of the 4th. Guardians come to bat here, bottom of the 4th, down to Andre Knott.
Steven, just talk about where Gavin's at. I know you gave it the solo homer, but he's getting ahead of hitters. How happy does that make you?
Yeah, he's pumping strikes and then got us out of the jam there in the 3rd. So Gavin's throwing the ball really well. Spin's really working for him, and he's executing fastballs as well. So really good for Gavin so far.
You look at Kramer and what he's doing with that split. We always hear if it's low, let it go. Is it that simple against a guy like that?
He's starting it right now, strike to ball. So you got to credit him right now. He's throwing some good ones up there, but we got to do a really good job being ready to hit his pitches when they are up in the zone. So got to get something going right here, get some offense.
Appreciate it.
A dribbler to short. 1 down. 8 straight retired by Dean Kramer. The last man to reach and the only one to reach for Cleveland, Jose Ramirez, when he walked in the 1st. The other thing, too, about the quandary that Jose is in when teams are pitching around him, testing his patience, walking him, is he still has to be ready for that one pitch, that one mistake that maybe they give him. He's got to be ready to feast on it.
And that's the mental part of the game that's so difficult, because you can't give up your aggressiveness, but you also have it in the back of your head. Are they really trying to pitch me, or is this that actual time when I'm going to see it? And you can see here 7+ pitch plate appearances, obviously blowing anybody else away with 19 there. first in the major leagues.
You know, I'd be curious to know how he stacks up year to year in that category, because I think of him as being a guy that within the first 3 pitches, he's getting after it. Doesn't mean he's always putting it in play.
Sure.
But you know, he doesn't like to sit around him. He's not taking the hit. He is hitting the tape. He is up there looking, and if it's not good, not tempting, he'll let it go. But he's not looking to work a walk.
He is the epitome of that yes, yes, no approach that every hitter should really take. You know, few actually go up there with that game plan and execute on it.
Upstairs.
But think about it. He's one of the most aggressive guys we know, but we're talking about him being patient. I think that's one of the hardest things to do in baseball.
It is. You're absolutely right.
Considering the pressure upon him in this lineup, and
no doubt. And I think, too, we're starting to see maybe him kind of maturing into a little bit of a different player because of that. Just because he's being forced, you know, to take a different approach now.
And he'll still put up the numbers that we've seen for the last decade.
Some way, you're going to look up there at the end of the year. It's going to be 30 to 40 homers and 40-plus stolen bases.
The 3-2. And a chopper to second. Jackson with the underhand flip for out number 2. Well, ask and ye shall receive. Last year, the graphic we just showed you, last year, Jose, the whole season, all in, he was 11th. The year before, he was 8th. And the year before that, he was tied for 30th. So we have seen him taking more pitches, or at least seeing more pitches per plate appearance year after year. And some of that is, I always go back to that game against Houston. They had that legendary at bat. Manzardo with a fly ball to right. And they'll go 1, 2, 3. Quickly shut down here in the 4th.
There's still time to purchase 2026 season ticket memberships. They start with just 20 games and feature the best seats at the lowest prices. Members also get access to exclusive events, pre-sales, a flexible exchange policy, and more. Purchase your plan online at cleguardians.com/season tickets.
Jeremiah Jackson fouls the first pitch off of the 5th inning. Baltimore with a 1-0 lead on a home run by Leody Taveras in the 4th inning. Oh, hard hit ball. Diving stop by Rocchio. And a sensational play.
All that talk about how good he's been offensively, let's not forget how good he is defensively. This ball was smashed. Great first step. That ball kind of hopped back on Brian Rocchio as well. Still able, you can see the first step quickness there. That is elite. Get up, make a quality strong throw. That young man can pick it.
And a big first out for Gavin Williams, because if Jeremiah Jackson gets aboard, he's on base with speed, and now you're flipping it over to the top of the order. That stops some momentum. Fastball strike to Gunnar Henderson, who had been 0 for his last 11 before he singled in the 3rd inning. Hyundai in the driver's seat, lowest batting average against facing left-handed hitters. And interesting for a right-handed pitcher, right. He dominates lefties.
Those breaking balls, that's where that comes from. Then you've talked about how good the fastball at the top part of the strike zone is. You get a hitter's eyes looking down or out over the plate and then zoom them back up like that. And then you do that.
The hard breaking ball. It's number 8 for Gavin.
Now batting, Baltimore.
And here it is. There's the sweeper. You can see the side spin. Just a good, hard, sharp, downward-facing breaking ball. Gunnar Henderson just pulled the trigger just a hair too soon on that pitch. Shaking his head as he walks away.
For a guy who made his living catching all these off-speed pitches, are we splitting hairs, sweeper to slider, or what is the actual differential that you can articulate?
You know, it's a good way of putting it. You know, in Gavin's case in particular, there's two significant differences between the two pitches. I mean, you can see the vertical drop, the top to bottom, the slower, you know, bigger curveball has a little bit more drop to it. The sweeper's generally a lot harder and a shorter break. Now, in your mind as a pitcher, those are two completely different pitches. Even though we've clearly shown that he holds the ball the exact same way, but he's attacking how he's throwing those pitches a little bit differently. One of them is a wrist angle. You know, he's on top of the ball a little bit more. The other one's a little bit more to the side.
But a sweeper and a slider, like where is that difference?
It's difference in, you know, how the metrics are and how hard or how, you know, the spin shape is or the actual pitch shape.
Okay.
Gavin has tried throwing a slider in the past, and it has not worked out great for him. So I think this is a new way of him keeping the shape of a slider, but it's a different mental thought process on how you actually throw that pitch.
The 2-2. So if I understand you right, a curveball has a grip and an action all to itself. A slider then is a completely different grip. Whereas the sweeper is more of a variation of the curveball, something he's very comfortable with. So a little better pitch for him to manipulate. Ground ball to Rocchio. A little easier play this time for the shortstop. Slings it over. And the Orioles go 1-2-3 for the first time tonight. We're halfway through. Baltimore 1, Cleveland nothing.
This series against the O's wraps tomorrow afternoon at 1:40. Pick up a family value pack for just $99 and get 4 game tickets plus $40 to spend on merch and concessions. Get your tickets today at CLEGuardians.com.
Dean Kramer has retired 10 in a row as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. George Valera robbed of a hit his first time up.
Pitch is called a strike. The batter is challenging.
George Valera felt like it was a ball, and it's a strike.
The call is correct. Cleveland has 1 challenge remaining.
So each team has burned a challenge. Each team has 1 remaining. Ground ball chopped to second. Dean Kramer has made it look easy tonight.
Speaking of making it look easy, Brian Rocchio in the last half of the inning made one of those spectacular plays up the middle. What I love about it is this right here. Rookie Odor, the infield coach, everybody came down and gave him high fives, and all Rookie just said was, that's what hard work does. He goes, you used to have trouble with the transfer. He goes, you would never know that now. He goes, appreciate that. He goes, your hard work is paying off when it matters most.
That's good to hear.
Curveball strike to Rhys Hoskins.
And now he's become the most popular guy on the team.
The 1-0.
And Matt, you remember when Rocchio first came up, he would get to every ball that he could get to, but the transfer at times would be a problem because he would kind of rush through it and try to get it out, and sometimes it would pop out of his glove. And, you know, knock on wood, we've not seen that in a long time with him.
I think, too, he's becoming more comfortable up here, and that certainly helps.
I remember I told you Hoskins has had a little success against him, and you said they pitched him different last time, and looks like the second time through they're doing the same thing.
Right. I wouldn't be shocked if you see a 3-0 green light here, though.
Rhys Hoskins awaits the pitch. It's in for a strike. You know, Andre, thinking about that aspect of Rocchio's game, you know, the transfer, we would see him he'd try so quickly to get the ball from his glove to his throwing hand, and he'd fumble with it at times. Not often, but just enough times where people noticed it. Swing and a miss, full count. And it always reminded me of a quote by the late, great Lou Holtz, who said, be quick, but don't be in a hurry. And I think if you think about it in those terms, it makes sense, because what happens when we hurry? We make mistakes. We drop the car keys. We slam the door in our hand because we're rushing.
sometimes you want to be quick, but under control. And I think Rocchio's starting to learn that.
No doubt. And he's starting to learn the league, too. He knows how much time he has up here. His internal clock has really slowed down, and that happens the more and more experience you get up here. The game really does truly slow down for you.
I mean, did you see the way he made that bare hand play there?
Just now, right? Was it?
It was so,
he just saved you.
No, he takes care of it.
Saved
But
you.
he like no looked it.
Watch him save Andre.
He's like, uh-oh.
Andre would have taken that right in the kisser.
Yep, there you go. And then look, give it here. Right,
that lip. Don't mess with that lip over
no,
there.
That lip is scary, man. It saved me a couple times, though, too.
3-2 off the end of the bat full. Foul, he yanked it.
Years ago, that lip didn't save me, and your boy Jan Gomes got me right in the noggin on a foul ball. And since then, when I'm soft throwing lefties up, pitching, and a righty that pulls the ball, I pay attention.
You don't put a helmet on?
Yeah, I was going to say.
I've had it on before. I had to wear one of your guys' after I got hit in the head.
And the 3-2 again. Up high, ball 4. So that snaps a string of 11 in a row retired by Kramer. The only base runners the Guardians have had tonight have come on 2 walks issued by Dean Kramer. So this will be our defensive play of the game, brought to you by Progressive.
Well, you could just see he knows he's in total control right there. There's no reason to rush, even with a speedy running down the base. He's soft, he's smooth, he's completely under control. And again, the game is starting to slow down for him.
Skipped in there, and Basayo kept it from going to the backstop. 1-1. The 21-year-old still working on his defense and the aspects of catching a big league staff. He's just 21 years old, so he's learning on the job. 6'4", 250. That's a big target back there.
Boy, I'll say. You know, to me, the hardest part of catching is the game calling side. It's learning how to get on the same page as the pitcher.
Base hit. First hit of the game for Cleveland. It'll send Hoskins all the way to third. And a nice job by Daniel Schneemann to extend his hitting streak to 7 games. He went out and got it, hooked it into right field, and now Cleveland's got a chance to come back and tie it.
Well, give Daniel Schneemann credit. Definitely kept the hands back there, but I think he knew this pitch was coming. I think he knew that first pitch of the at-bat was a show-me fastball just to get you thinking we're going up there. 2 back-to-back splits after that. Really good job of seeing that pitch up in the strike zone, not getting that front lunge or his hands too far out in front. And Rhys Hoskins ends up at third base, and we got a little something cooking now.
So what goes on here? Meeting at the mound. Basayo's out there. It looks like he's kind of calling that meeting.
And wanted the entire infield in on the meeting, so I'm guessing first, third.
Well, it's a first, third defense most likely, but they're going to figure out, yes, you know, you got to make sure your head's up for a safety squeeze right here. Again, know who the manager of the Baltimore Orioles is right now. Somebody that was very intimate with what, you know, we like to do in these types of situations. So they're just pretty much going over a lot of the scenarios that potentially could happen.
Bo Naylor broke his bat and lined out to second base first time up. And he takes a fastball strike. Rhys Hoskins, the veteran, down at third, off in foul territory. Schneemann always a threat to run at first. Bo swings through it, 0-2.
Again, this is, you know, what sets that pitch up is that 4-seam fastball at the bottom part of the strike zone, 2-seam fastball. You know, you see that plane of where that pitch is coming off of, and you think, okay, maybe he's going to attack me with heaters this time through.
And he's out on 3 pitches. 2 down.
I don't think you can throw a split in any better of a location than this one. Again, just a really crisp job there by Dean Kramer, executing the first pitch with the 4-seam down, then you go back-to-back split right off of it. Nothing in that at-bat was up in the strike zone.
You know, you used to have to go out in front of home plate and do the signs. Now he just hits the button, and all the infielders have the little speakers in their hats, so they know what the defense is going to do, though, with 2 outs.
That is one thing that makes it a little bit easier there. You know, sometimes you got to make sure guys are looking. You know, that's a big part of that too. You know, from your catching position, you're the leader back there, you're the quarterback. You've got to make sure your entire infield is paying attention, and then you have to go slow enough for guys to be able to see what exactly you were doing.
First and third with 1 out, and Kramer had thrown 4 straight strikes before missing with that ball to Rocchio.
And that's also the 4th batter in a row. He started out with a fastball and then immediately went to the split finger off.
1-0 Birds, bottom of the 5th. Fastball missed up high, and it's 2-1.
I think it's so important. You see where the infielders are at right now. Gunnar Henderson about as far over or up the middle as he possibly could be. That kind of tells you exactly how they're going to pitch him right here.
That splitter has been vexing for Cleveland hitters tonight. 2-2.
Again, knowing that soft contact to the pull side with that split finger, that's why you see the defense really place like that. It's so important, yet so easy to say, so difficult to do, to allow that pitch to travel.
High fly ball, right field. Beaver's back on the track. He's out of room. It's out of here. Playoff Rocchio makes an appearance in April. A 2-out, 3-run homer puts the Guardians on top.
Well, Dean Kramer tried to sneak a fastball by him. Brian Rocchio was not having any of it. Had a ball. He got to fairly deep right field the first time up. In a 3-1 count, just missed it. Got himself another fastball right there. And did not miss that pitch. Got on top of that ball and hammered it to right field.
Guardians were 2 for their last 14 with runners in scoring position in the series before that homer by Rocchio. I think it's because he heard Cavs and playoffs. He heard playoffs and he said, all right, I know how to play.
I know what to do now. Well, you can see it, fastball middle in. That same pitch or that same arm slot from the split he just saw before that, but you can see he does such a good job of keeping those hands tight to his body, allowing that barrel to stay behind the baseball and extend through it.
Dean Kramer.
He knew it. And so did he.
Rocchio with the 3-run homer after Kramer had started the inning by getting George Valera to ground out. He had retired 11 in a row at that point. Then the walk to Rhys Hoskins. Base hit by Schneemann, and after a strikeout, Rocchio rips it.
Again, you see the bottom part of the order, you get a big strikeout out of the 8-hole. You think, okay, whew, you let your breath down, you let your guard down. I think I just got myself out of this inning with the 9-hole up. You make one mistake, and it can cost you.
Out in front of the pitch was Quanti, and a strikeout ends the inning. After 5, the Guardians have taken a 3-1 lead on a home run by Brian Rocchio. I want to share with you a story about young Mariah Bowen. She is a patient with the Casey Cares Foundation. She is 13 years old. She's been fighting leukemia since early January, and after countless hospital visits and treatments, she is now in remission. Prior to the game, she delivered the game ball to the pitching rubber, and we want to wish her and her family the very best. Great to have her at the ballpark tonight, and she delivered the ceremonial first ball, and now she's bundled up, hoping to bring home a winner here as the Guardians lead it 3-1. And Gavin Williams going to work in the 6th against Pete Alonso. He has struck him out twice, and Chris, both times when he has gotten ahead, he's gone to the hammer, the curveball.
Yeah, I mean, he's really controlled the heck out of that breaking ball tonight. Now, that one right there got left up just a little bit. And again, that's the swing right there that, as the catcher, it gives me a little pause for concern. Yeah, I need to reset the trap here. I need to change an eye level in order to go back to that pitch.
Swing and a miss. He went to the other breaking ball, and the sweeper strikes him out, number 9.
Well, this was about as good of a sweeper as you're going to see. That pitch was never a strike at any point in time. As soon as it left Gavin Williams' hands, that's the type of thing I'm talking about, changing an eye level. The breaking balls was, before that, in. Now you go right to the other side of the plate. It's never a strike. You're not going to get hurt on that. If he takes it, it opens up tons of possibilities.
Dylan Beavers has also struck out twice tonight. I like that. We had a really good shot as Pete Alonso was leaving home plate and beginning his walk back to the dugout. You could see him talking to himself. And when you've got a hitter talking to himself on his way back to the dugout, you know
you're doing something right.
You are so deep in his kitchen, you're making 3 egg omelets.
That's exactly right, with a little bit of bacon in there too. He's sitting there wondering what in the world
Look at him
just
shaking,
happened.
like, oh my goodness. He's like, I'm having a nightmare to last year when he came to New York and almost no-hit us.
He remembers. That's the look at it. He is not happy. You know, we talk about Jose not seeing a lot of fastballs. There's another man right there that's not seeing a lot of fastballs. There's a little therapy session going on.
If you're the coach and he's talking, watch Pete when he starts walking. He's like, are you? I mean, what is going on? Are you kidding me? Like, look at him.
He's wondering what planet Gavin Williams is from. Is what he's wondering.
And what do you say if you're that coach over there? You're just letting Pete talk.
Yeah,
like,
you have to. Yep.
Yeah,
You're hearing him out. Say, yes, sir. You're right.
Yeah.
You know you're right. You're trying. That's a feel-good session right there. That's exactly what that is. That's the thing coaches don't get paid enough for.
Ground ball to first. Manzo takes it himself. 2 down. A word from Bet365.
Did you win?
Let's just say the next round of omelets is on me, fellas.
Bet $10, get $200 in bonus bets.
You know how you get a guy talking to himself? You throw him 13 pitches, 11 of them are strikes.
Now Pete knows what I felt like.
You were like, do they ever throw balls at this level? Does anybody ever get in a hitter's count?
Like, why only me? And it's, of course, that's what he's talking about right now.
He's still working
he's
through
like,
it.
this is only happening to me here.
Don't they know I'm the polar bear? Can't do this to me. I'm the most feared animal in the Arctic.
No kidding. He might be asking him, hey, you want to stay late and hit in the cage tonight? It's that young man's worst nightmare.
These poor coaches. I want to know how many coaches have to have Tommy John surgery from all the BP that they throw nowadays.
It's more shoulder issues for hitting coaches than his elbow.
They're not putting a lot of torque on it.
They're not putting a lot of torque on it.
Yeah. Out front, Clouser pulls it foul.
It's more of an overuse thing. It's days like this, though, when you face a pitcher that's on like Gavin has been so far tonight. That can put you in a tailspin mentally as a hitter.
The 1-2. Breaking ball on the back door. Ring him up. Make that to go. 10 strikeouts for Gavin Williams. He has retired the side in order and has set down 8 straight. The bottom of the 6th inning is sponsored by your Northeast Ohio Ram dealers. Country Roads, Chase DeLauder leads it off. In the bottom of the 6th inning, he's 0 for 2 this afternoon. He hit a ball to deep right field his first time up.
I bet you, too, if the wind is blowing like it is right now, then that ball might get over his head.
Well, he hit that on such a line drive that first time up. I mean, it was smoked. And that's
the wind was kind of cutting across it, and that tends to knock that type of ball down.
The 2-0. There's one popped up, foul ground. That's going to stay in play. Mayo. One away. And up comes Jose. He walked in the first and grounded out in the fourth.
Well, I would expect a lot of the same here. Not going to give in to him. There's no reason to.
Last time he was up, we were talking about how many pitches that he has seen per plate appearance, and how that has been a trend for him in recent years, seeing more and more. And I was kind of alluding to the fact that it's not because he's necessarily up there trying to work the count, but I always think back to that great at-bat he had against the Astros in that come-from-behind win as he blisters one to Pete Alonso for out number 1. But, I mean, he can foul off pitch after pitch after pitch and drive a guy's pitch count up just by making you work because he fouls so many balls off. Pete Alonso's played an amazing first base.
He's got a few silver sluggers. You might want to give him a gold glove here in the near future of the plays he's made.
They have
this
tested
series.
him time and time again.
And he has come through time and time again. Andre knows the camo on that glove.
You beat me too, and I was going to say the camo is what it's about. Hey, but for the young kids at home, though, and we watched that with Rocchio, we watched it with Hosey. When you play every day and play both sides, you got to use it. Everybody thinks about Pete as a home run hitter, but he's showing us this weekend he can do it on both sides.
Well, that's what a leader does.
Right.
You know, yes, they signed him in to come be this prestigious power hitter, and he certainly will be that. But a leader shows you how to play the game inside the game, right, and outside the game as well. And not only that, defensively.
Right, and we all know he's still beside himself for what's happened at the plate.
But that's how you can actually positively affect a game.
But that tells me a lot about
him,
what kind of ball player he is, that he's not taking his offense out to the field with him, because he's made every play defensively that he's had to make in this series.
And trust me when I tell you this, it is so much harder to actually do that than what he's making it look like, especially playing first base. You know, every now and again you may get somebody to come over and talk to you. That was my favorite part about being a catcher, is immediately, as soon as I put that gear back on, it was like a shield went over me. And now I have to, number one, I get to hide behind it, which is great. But number two, my job is not about me anymore.
Where's that bum that just struck out? I can't find him out there.
That's right. He's behind the umpire. No wonder you can't see him. But I knew as soon as I put that gear on, it was no longer about me.
I think that's something that every catcher has to have, right? You have to subjugate your ego for the pitcher and for the team. And the great ones can do that.
No doubt. The pitcher sees right through it, you know, if you can't.
You just said that's being a good teammate.
Right.
It's not, you just said the words, it's not about me. As much as it was in that at-bat, the rest of the game isn't about you.
That one looked like it may have crossed up Basayo, or he crossed himself up by the way he tried to catch it.
It looked like that one knuckled just a little bit more too. It is, you know, the wind is kind of swirling around here, and sometimes with a split like that, you catch a seam just right, it may take off on you.
You know, I never thought about that, but every once in a while, we see somebody with a really good split, and it does almost have that knuckleball action. Swing and a miss where you don't get a lot of rotation. Well, Dean Kramer bounces right back after giving up 3 in the 5th. He sets him down 1-2-3 in inning number 6.
Enjoy some weekend baseball here at the ballpark when the Guards face the Astros Monday through Wednesday. Tickets start at just $20, including all fees. Get yours today at cleguardians.com.
Swing and a miss by Leody. Taveras leading off the 7th inning.
And notice what pitch that was.
Fastball.
There you go.
Taveras took him deep with a homer in the 4th on a hanging curveball. Hunter Gaddis has begun to loosen up in the Cleveland bullpen. Gavin just shy of 100 pitches on the evening. Hard hit ball. Stop made by Schneemann. One away.
There's another guy that doesn't get a ton of credit for his good defense.
Injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. And Jorge Polanco has gone on the injury list for the New York Mets, who at one point were 7-4 this year. And now they have lost 10 in a row.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you can tell me. Their president of baseball ops came out this morning and gave their manager a vote of confidence.
I never understood the whole vote of confidence thing, especially because
we know what it leads to.
After the first or second or third time the guy got a vote of confidence and then they fired him, that should have been the end of the vote of confidence.
Right. Well, doesn't that mean you're listening to the sounds around and not listening to what's going on inside?
100%.
You don't need
to
to
me,
say
that's
anything.
the kiss of death.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as Matt said those words, I go, oh, I know what that means. Honey, start packing.
Swing and a miss by Basayo.
But Soto's been out as well. I'm not saying that's the whole reason, but
no, you're right.
But they, you know, they're one of their best.
They've dealt with some
down,
injuries,
yes.
especially on the pitching side of things too. And we all know how that media market is. It's a little stern, if you will.
It's something. That's a nice word for you to use. I won't use the word I was thinking.
The 1-2 is grounded foul. I'll just say this. Look, every team goes through injuries, right? And some teams get besieged more than others. Who's had more injuries than the Baltimore Orioles?
Right?
They've been outscored by 1 run coming into tonight. The Mets have been outscored by 22 runs. Basayo is rung up by home plate umpire Mark Wegner. And the Baltimore catcher barking at the veteran umpire as he heads back to the dugout.
Greg said, come on over here. Don't do that.
Now, this is a really good breaking ball. Again, I don't think it's necessarily where he intended to throw it, but give Bo credit there for being able to make that adjustment. Certainly was close.
Well, if he was mad, why didn't he tap his head?
There you go.
What did you think before the game? Stephen Vogt talking about the fact that some players still aren't programmed to react quick enough to tap their helmet.
And I think we just saw one of those situations play out right now.
Because it's still so new and fresh, you're not thinking, oh, I have to tap my helmet right away.
Well, your natural reactions to yell.
Yeah, right. Jose off balance throw, and it's in time. The big rig steamrolling Baltimore. Cleveland Guardians baseball is brought to you by Levin Furniture and Mattress, your mattress headquarters, and by your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires. Gavin Williams retiring the last 11 hitters in a row. 100 pitches on the night, 11 strikeouts, only 1 walk. 3 hits is all the Orioles could muster. One of those is solo homer, their only run. Just a dominant, overpowering performance by Gavin tonight.
Completely overpowering. And again, we are starting to become accustomed to that out of Gavin Williams.
Our Sarah Auto Park pitching change here in the 7th inning is Albert Suarez, right-hander, coming on in relief of Dean Kramer, who also pitched a terrific ball game. He went 95 pitches. He only allowed 2 hits. But they both came in the 5th inning, and sandwiched in between was a walk, and then the big home run by Brian Rocchio, accounting for all of Cleveland's runs.
Albert Suarez is going to hope to continue on the same trend that Dean Kramer set. You know, the first 6+ innings of this game, he's going to come at you. Tons of strikes. It's a small sample size, but he's throwing significantly more four-seam fastballs and changeups this year than he ever has before.
George Valera pops it up. Pete Alonso, look out. In foul ground. And that is out number one. A word now from Levin Furniture and Mattress.
Where can you get the guaranteed lowest prices on the top mattress brands for life? Only one place, Levin.
You know, that was one of those plays that fortunately it turned out fine. But, you know, you got a hitter, you kind of running with your head down, and a first baseman who's looking up at the sky, and all of a sudden you don't realize you almost run into each other. You got to get out of the way.
And it almost knocked Pete's glove off, too. And you see Pete turn around and look. I think both guys were wondering, you know, was that on purpose there? Because I don't necessarily think either one of them meant to do anything to each other.
Rhys Hoskins has struck out, walked, and scored a run. His walk led to the only runs of the game in the fifth. Popped up foul, out of play to the right.
Well, again, small sample size, but Rhys has really drawn some very important walks this year so far. I'd love to see the batting average up there, and again, I do think we will see that at some point, but he's had some really good at-bats.
I definitely think that before the season's over, we'll see him have a big impact on this offense, because he is what this team has been missing in recent years, which is a really solid veteran right-handed bat.
Right.
And look, last year he dealt with injuries, so I think part of it is, at least in the early going, making sure that they're taking care of him so that he can be here for the long haul.
Sure. And he did have a little bit of an abbreviated spring training. Got in there a little bit late.
Bounce to third, and it goes foul.
A guy in his situation, too, as great as it would be to have him come in here and get back to the Rhys Hoskins of old and 30-plus home runs, we don't necessarily need that. You know what I mean? You get him to give you 15 to 25 homers, 15 to 20 home runs, and just be that veteran leader, have those veteran-type at-bats, make the difference in the clubhouse, in the dugout. That's exactly what you're paying a guy like that for.
3-2, foul out of play. I think Rhys is a guy that, look, he's been around some really good players, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, and, you know, now that he has some experience, he's not going to be like, hey, guys, I got some ideas, come listen to me. But I think guys will watch him, watch his approach, watch how he handles at-bats, certain situations.
I'll give you an example.
They will gravitate toward him.
We came in early yesterday. Who was in the cage? Him and Austin Hedges.
Liner, caught.
You don't have to tell them, just your actions, and they'll follow.
That ball was
That's
smoked. You just see
it almost popped out of his glove.
Holy smoke. You see him.
He got camo too.
Hey, that camo glove don't drop anything.
We're getting camo gloves for everybody, Matt.
This is 104 miles an hour off the bat.
Got him in the heel a little bit first.
Yes, it did. And you can see those are fun. Again, just another example of a perfect swing. Nothing to show for it. Hitting stinks.
If your name's Gunner, you have to have camo, don't you?
He's from Alabama, yes.
That is a sharp glove, I will say. As a lover of camo myself.
Look at you, Jealous. I tell you, we're all getting one now.
Swing.
I mean, when you name your son Gunner, you got to be a baseball player, right?
It looks good on you, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Absolutely.
It coordinates with the uniform.
The Baltimore Duck
Make
blinds.
any camo look good.
Outside.
about that use of a changeup. Albert Suarez, that was a really well executed one right there. The thing that makes his changeup so good, and this is so different from Dean Kramer. Dean Kramer's has a little different roll to it with, you know, coming off the split.
And then he follows that up with a fastball.
Goes 94.
And just freezes him. 7 in the books, 3-1 Guardians. Well, one guy who is definitely happy that Gavin Williams' night is over is Pete Alonso.
I don't know if it gets any better than what we're about to see here. Talking about 11 pitches in this package here. A ton of breaking balls, execution at its finest.
Those are all 11 strikes that he saw from Gavin Williams out of 13 pitches total.
I mean, good luck, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Mr. Polar Bear.
Struck out all 3 times.
We talked about some of the keys to the game for Gavin attacking. After an 0-1 count tonight, Baltimore was 1 for 16. That's
well, there
attack.
You go. Pete Alonso due up 4th here in the 8th inning. Hunter Gaddis skips it in there. Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen made here in the 8th inning. Hunter Gaddis making just his 3rd appearance on the season. Trying to work his way back into shape. Forearm tenderness or tightness kept him off the opening day roster. And so when he was just recently active, Stephen Vogt said, you know, we can't just throw him right into the fire. We've got to kind of give him the same kind of runway that we gave all of our relievers when we started the season. The 1-2.
It's a good pitch all the way around, but I do like that, you know, Stephen Vogt, Carl Willis, it would be very tempting to throw him back in that 8th inning role right out of the gate. Okay, we got Hunter Gaddis back, our bullpen's shaping up, it's lining up. But you do have to, you know, mix in the fact that he's on a little bit of an abbreviated spring training in his own right.
But if you guys noticed the inning he's pitched in the first
that's where I was going with this.
But and Voter told me after the first time, he goes, I'm going to use him in the 8th inning because that's his inning. He goes, I just don't want to put the pressure on him.
Right.
You know, like he has to be the guy he was a year ago. I think there's a trust factor that he's earned, right?
Oh, no doubt.
You saw that slider he was throwing 2 nights ago. That was so tight. He looks
unhittable.
No doubt.
And the 3-2 beats it into the ground. It's a foul ball. Jose took no chances and made a perfect throw.
Really nice play there.
But to Andre's point, you don't know. Every pitcher is different, right? It may take some guys 4 or 5 appearances before, okay, he's ready. For Hunter Gaddis, it was 2 appearances, and after that last one, you're like, oh,
he's foaming at the mouth. Get me back in the 8th.
He looks like he's fine. He's ready to go. Doesn't mean there may not be a bump or 2 in the road.
Of course. I mean, we kind of saw that last night, right? How it played out in the 8th inning in its own right.
Swung out of this. He struck him out. And Jeremiah Jackson, who's been a pain in the Guardians' side in this series, goes down swinging to start the inning.
I mean, I feel like we've said this a bunch tonight with Gavin and now Hunter. You can't throw a breaking ball in a better location than these guys have executed breaking balls in this evening.
And I think there's a hope amongst the coaching staff having Hunter back that it kind of relaxes the rest of the bullpen and finds other roles. I was talking to Cade Smith before the game just about how different it is for him to kind of have to wait now, you know, like he was used to being the fireman, being ready to come in the 6th, 7th, the 8th inning. He told me, he goes, Andre, I've been on the mound as much. It's just different though because I'm waiting to the 9th inning. because I'm getting my appearances, but I've got to get my body and my mind set up a little differently than I've had in the past, because I may not come in. I know I'm not coming in early in the game, but I got to be ready when they need me in the ninth.
And that is such a great point that you brought up, because that's what makes that closer's role different than all the rest of them, right? That's why those last 3 outs are the hardest, because you're waiting the entire game to get to it.
It's a little bit like a DH, right? A guy just come up, you're only hitting, and you got to kind of figure out what to do in between that time. Cade's in the process of figuring out what to do in that time period that he's never had before during the ball game.
Eric Sabrowski getting loose. And it's 2-2 for Gunnar Henderson, who is 1 for 3 on the night. Out of play.
I think, too, as good as the breaking ball's been, you just saw that fastball there at 96. That's great to see as well. Not only is Hunter Gaddis a very intimidating presence on the mound, he's got the beard, he's got the look of a late inning reliever. It's one thing to have the stuff to back it up, too.
That is high and deep to right. And DeLauder is out of room, and it is into the cheap seats. Gunnar Henderson with his 7th home run of the season. And back comes Baltimore to make it a 1-run game at 3-2.
Well, this one was not executed where Hunter wanted it to be. This one hung up there. Give Gunnar credit, put a big, really nice swing on it. This ball's up in the zone, kind of the epitome of a hanger, and you can tell Hunter knew it right away. And again, that is maybe one of the slight downsides of a lot of these Baltimore hitters, seeing so much spin before he gets in. Granted, different pitcher, different shape.
And as I go back to the question I asked you earlier, how do you know when you've gone to the well too many times? And I feel like with Hunter Gaddis, look, that slider is pure filth.
It's his bread and butter.
But it almost feels like sometimes you throw it so many times that the hitter starts to recognize it. And like, how do you know when, hey, we need to throw some fastball? How many fastballs per slider do you really need to throw?
I don't know if there's a perfect, ratio to that, honestly.
Because you're working off that hitter.
That gives you a good idea right there, though. When you see a good quality hitter take a four-seam fastball in a leverage count right down the middle, he's not looking for the fastball. And that's what I was getting back to our point earlier. The takes can tell us just as much as the swing and miss, or the swing. And this is, here's the punch out slider. Look at the execution on that pitch. It's one thing to kind of nitpick, right? You can see there's a significant difference in execution.
Absolutely.
And if he gets the ball where he wants to,
that's not going to be the same result.
Exactly.
And that's why the other day we were talking about this very topic with Stephen Vogt, and I said, how much is it execution versus pitch selection? And he said, almost all the time, it's not about what pitch you decide to throw, it's about how you execute.
It's the conviction you have in the pitch you throw, and then execution.
Ground ball too short. Brocchio. Wow, what happened there?
I think he lost a grip on it. I think that thing got a little wet.
Really strange looking.
That was a really nice pick by Kyle Manzardo.
I don't know how it stayed on target. Usually when the ball comes out like that, it goes haywire.
The first baseman, number 25, Pete.
He definitely did not mean to do that, but that...
Great job there by Kyle Manzardo. That was not an easy play. And I think, too, he looked up and saw Taylor Ward was not running hard to first, so he gave up, let up just a little bit, and I think that's what caused that.
Alonso
He's
is
seeing
so
ghosts
tied
right
up
now.
right now. He's seeing ghosts.
He's seeing ghosts. I mean, whew, goodness. When you make as good of a hitter as Pete Alonso take a swing like that, you know, number one, he's not seeing it great. That was a pretty good pitch.
Pete's ready to call Ghostbusters.
Exactly. We just want to make sure he's still staying afraid of ghosts. Yep, perfect.
The poltergeist has slayed Pete Alonso tonight. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Guardians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Guardians. Leading off here in the bottom of the 8th inning is Bo Naylor. Bo 0 for 2. First home run of the year for Bo Naylor. And it's 4-2 Cleveland as he gives them a run right back.
Well, just watching him round the bases, it looks like the weight of the world was just lifted off Bo Naylor's shoulders. You can only hit balls on the barrel for so long and get out before it'll drive you crazy. I bet that helmet feels so darn good on his head right now.
Out of play to the left. His teammates know and appreciate how much he cares, and I'm sure they feel just as salty about the way the year has started.
Absolutely.
As he does.
You ride and die with your teammates just like it's your own self.
Especially the selfless ones like Bo. They put everybody else first.
And of course, you know, you got to have a little soft, you know, spot in your heart for a catcher every now and again.
Swing and a miss. Brian Rocchio, 2 out, 3-run homer in the 5th.
You have a soft spot for catchers.
Maybe. You should too.
You know I do. Relax. I'm gonna mess with you regardless.
Line to left. And Taylor Ward makes the catch for number 1. Another look at Bo's blast.
Well, down and in. That's normally not a place you want to throw many left-handed hitters. And I'm telling you, you can just see the weight lifted off his shoulders. Look at this. Everybody there at the top step.
Especially the pitching staff.
That face right there.
It's the best. Look at him. Thank the Lord.
I think Kwani wants to hit. We don't see him strike out twice in a game, if ever.
True.
But you know what? He's shown no emotion towards it. I think that's the most beautiful thing about Quan. Even yesterday when we did that walk-on interview before the game, I go, I don't want to mess up what you do. And he said to me, he goes, Dre, just tell me what you need me to do. I'm going to go play the game regardless. I'm not going to let it change what happens tonight. And you guys know how guys are in their routines, and I try to be cautious of that and talk to them about it. Kwani was like, dude, I agreed to do it. However you need me to do it, let's do it the best way for you and me, and we'll make it work. And he plays the same exact way. He never gets too high or low.
Down low. 3 balls and a strike for Quan. With Chase DeLauder waiting on deck. And a chopper to first. Backhanded by Alonso. 2 down. Take a look at our Bet365 scores from around the league. Yankees tattooed Kansas City. A's win by 1 over the White Sox in 11. Tigers beat the Red Sox 4-1. Detroit has been playing very well.
It was a Scooble day today, too.
Derek Shelton got tossed against the Reds.
Yes, he
and
did.
Cincinnati wins 5-4.
Did I send that to you where Shelton got thrown out? He was, I wasn't talking to you.
I may have been texting with him throughout this game. And
I can't wait to talk to you later. Then Shelton goes, I wasn't talking to you.
let's just put it this way. He's hoping he doesn't get fined for that one. He's got video evidence, he says.
He's been fined enough. He should know better. And I'll tell him.
Albert Suarez, the pitcher for Baltimore, is 1 year older than brother Robert, who saved 76 games over the previous 2 years for San Diego. Now the setup man in Atlanta in front of Raisel Iglesias. He spent 5 years pitching in Japan and South Korea. And he said, I was motivated to get back to the big leagues because I wanted my mom to be able to say she has 2 sons pitching in the big leagues.
That is very cool.
That is really cool. How many times has a mom been able to say that?
Oof, very close. And DeLauder,
good take.
Will get at least 1 more pitch. Chase 0 for 3 on the night. In the air, shallow left, in comes Ward, and the Guardians are out here in the 8th. But Bo Naylor has restored their 2-run advantage with his first home run of the season, and we're headed to the 9th. 4-2 Cleveland.
MLB Plus is brand new this year. Stream MLB Network 24/7 in the U.S. and select out-of-market games every week, plus live radio broadcasts of every game. Game day, 3D, big inning, and minor league action. Visit MLB.com/MLB Plus to subscribe today.
Andre.
There's Bella. She looks too old there.
I was going to say.
No kidding.
That's not the Bella I know. Where's the Bella I know that would be beating up AJ?
He probably beat him up. That's why he's not in the picture.
No kidding, huh?
Anybody out there that wants to help me, please help.
Send help.
Send help in the camo is all I'll say. That's where I'm at now. Her and her phone.
We are in the 9th inning, and Cade Smith trying to nail it down for the Guardians. Has the 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up for Baltimore. 4 for 6 in save situations for Cade. He blows it by him. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stephen Vogt fielding a lot of questions the other day about Cade Smith, and the one thing that I came away with it was when somebody asked him, and he said, look, I do not worry about Cade Smith. He's never phased. He's never afraid of the moment. He does not rattle.
Right.
Now, do we have to work through some maybe mechanical adjustments, some execution adjustments? Absolutely. But he said those are things that he will work his tail off on the side to get back online. But he said it's not there's no issue between the ears for Cade Smith. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, 1 down.
For Cade, it's nothing but an execution issue. You know, he has the right mentality to fill this role and be extremely successful. You got to have that slow heartbeat. That's something Cade has. You don't be a fireman for Stephen Vogt for 2 years and not figure out how in the world to have a slow heartbeat. You know, he's very analytically minded. He's going to figure exactly what he needs to get done, and certainly looks solid right now.
Because I think there was a valid question about, okay, now everybody's got a book on him. Everybody in the league has seen him. Everybody's
That's a real thing.
Deep dive.
No doubt.
How do we get past this guy? How do we get over on him? But Stephen Vogt believes at the end of the day, it's not that the teams have an advantage or an edge. It's just he just hasn't quite been himself yet.
That's exactly right. And a lot of it, too, is early in counts. He's getting himself behind in counts and having to come back to the heart of the plate. The splits, when he has thrown them, have been in the the upper part of the zone, something that's a little easier for a hitter to see, especially when you know you got it. But to me, he's attacking with the fastball early here, these first two batters, and this looks like a different Cade Smith.
Well, you knew that those first couple of outings, too, when he was 25 pitches in an inning. Like, that's not typical.
That's not
Cade
him.
Smith.
Correct.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, 2 down.
And I don't care who you are, nobody is hitting that pitch right there. That is one of the better splits I've seen Cade Smith throw this year. Look at the way this thing comes off of his hand. We talk about the tumble. The thing tumbled right off the table.
So 2 down for Leody Taveras, who is 1 for 2. He's had a solo homer back in the 4th, and it's ball 1. Nasty. $20,783 up on their feet here in the 9th, as Cade Smith is 1 out away from his 5th save of the year.
That's an angry heater right there.
Pop foul and out of play. I think sometimes Cade Smith bristles at the notion when people refer to him as robotic. This is a real human, a guy who cares deeply about his teammates, his faith, his family. But man, he is not afraid of the big moment. The 2-2. Book it. Cade Smith strikes out the side in the 9th. His 5th save of the year, and the Guardians have taken 2 out of the first 3 in this series from Baltimore, as the Guards go to 12-10 on the year. Gavin Williams gets the win. He goes to 3-1. Dean Kramer, the tough luck loser tonight. He's 0-1 on the year. Baltimore now falls below 500 at 10-11. 1 more to go tomorrow afternoon here at Progressive Field. But man, this was about as well-pitched game that I have seen. And again, like Parker Messick flirted with a no-hitter the other night, but what Gavin Williams just looked overpowering.
I mean, complete domination. From the bullpen standpoint to starting with Gavin Williams, this is exactly what Stephen Vogt and company would loved and wanted to see coming off of what happened last night. You immediately get back after it. Some quality hits in some big situations by the bottom part of the lineup in particular. And then you go out and you get the pitching performance that you just saw tonight.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Performance from the bottom part of the order, too, is nice. You can't always lean on Jose and Stephen Kwan. They got power from the bottom. Brian Rocchio with that monster 3-run homer. Bo Naylor gets his first of the year. And the Guardians didn't need a lot of offense the way Gavin Williams was chucking it tonight. He gave up 1 run in 7 innings, striking out 11, had only 1 walk. And Andre Knott is downstairs now with Dre. Playoff Rokio in April.
Hey, Roke, you know the playoffs are going on over there, not here, right?
I know that.
I joke, but just talk about getting your first off day yesterday. How much does that help you relax and get back in the rhythm that you've been in so far?
I mean, I take it easy yesterday. I know I can go in any time of the game yesterday to help the team anyway, so I'm prepared every time.
All right, what's more fun to do? Make that play in the hole at shortstop that you made, or then come up an inning and a half later and hit a 3-run homer?
Both. To be honest, both, because that helped the team win, and that's the more important thing.
You know, defensively, we've watched you make some excellent plays throughout your career, but just working on the transfer and the conversation you had with Rugi, how much is your work that you've done in the past, how good do you feel about how it's paying off during games?
I mean, I'm trying to keep my work in the shortstop at second base because that's my job, you know. I'm trying to be in my work every day and be simple in that moment.
I know when you watch the game, it's easy to get caught up in numbers and batting averages, but for people that watch you every day, I think everyone has been very impressed that you're getting deeper in the count. And you may not be showing up every time with hits, but how much does it mean to you that you're getting deeper in the count and seeing more pitches?
I mean, that's impressive for me too, because you know my last 2 years I was struggling a little bit hitting. Now thank you better AB, help the team, help Juan to see more pitches. That's pretty cool.
You're doing a great job. I make the joke about playoff Rokio, but we're getting regular season Rokio, and that's just as good. Good job, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Brian Rokio with the big swing of the bat tonight. Changed the momentum of this game. And the Guardians pitching staff took it home as a combined staff. 16 strikeouts. Oof. They had 10 0-2 counts, 0 2-0 counts.
That is the epitome of attacking.
What was the Chris Jimenez key to the game, number 1?
Attack.
Bingo. They followed
it's nice
suit.
when they listen to you.
They followed suit. They've won 2 out of 3, a chance to win the series. Now tomorrow afternoon in the series finale. And before we kiss it off, the Guardians postgame, another look at some of Brian Rokio's handiwork today.
Man, he was as smooth as the other side of the pillow. You look how fast he's able to get up, get his feet underneath him, make a good, strong throw. And then there's this side of his game. Playoff Rokio going off across the street. It's going off here too, as he was able to back that baseball up and completely change the momentum swing of this game in our favor.
Well, maybe Cody and Al will talk about it coming up on Guardians postgame. You have to wonder how much of this might be in Pete Alonso's head heading into the series finale. They had him tied up in knots today the way they pitched him. Stay tuned. Al and Cody are next. We'll see you tomorrow for the series finale.
There's DNA